Hey, welcome into this video on the SBA EIDL Alternative Loan Option and Options, the best one for you, the why, the what, the when, the how, so much more I will be covering in this video. I'll also be switching tabs, showing you on one of these how to get started to get help from an actual business funding expert, a business loan broker expert, as well as a pre-underwriter slash underwriter, somebody who's been in this for many years, understands the different products and services through credit, cash flow, collateral, liquidity, equity, somebody who has the right morals, ethics, values, vision, and mission in life as a person first and then in business. I truly care about you as a person, people over profits. You are the backbone of this country and continuing to put it forward. So I'd like to help you and make sure you get the best benefits out of all of this when it comes to getting the right funding now and in the future, strategic partnership and roadmap. Right now, unfortunately, there's so much going on with the SBA EIDL loan, whether you received one or not, you're looking for an increase, more of a deferment, the hardship accommodation plan and extension, more of a percentage, complete or at least partial forgiveness of the SBA EIDL loan, things within the Treasury, coming back to the SBA, back and forth. There's a lot of uncertainty. So whether you have an EIDL loan or not, don't just sit on it. Whether you needed more funding or just complete relief, and you need to move on to the next option or continue to manage your operations, the logistics of it, the fulfillment part, the marketing, maybe the sales department better, the operations, product development. There's so much more that you have to put your head around as a business owner. And I know far too well because I run multiple ones. This is one of my businesses. It has always been a passion that I've been doing for many years that I believe I do extremely well. Others would think so too. I've helped out many get funding, and those who couldn't, I'm giving them the right information as an expert. I run other ones too, just so you know, having gotten funding for them, understanding the process that you are going through in different ways. So, right here, you see on your screen COVID-19 Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Just some things if you didn't know very quickly. As of January 1st, 2022, the SBA stopped accepting applications for new COVID-19 EIDL loans or advances. And there's more information and dates here, program summary. I'm not going to go through all of this, but I do want to spend time now going over what your alternative option could be. So right here, I'll leave this questionnaire down below in the description. If you filled it out, great. If I've gone back to you, that's one thing. If I haven't, I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. I can get flooded at times, but your opportunity cost to working with a funding expert, somebody who will not overpromise and underdeliver, you have to understand that out there, the logistics of the funding world, I don't trust very many people. I have a very, very small amount of people that I can trust, and that goes far. You have to understand that people out there get taken advantage of. If you're doing things just for conveniency, well, I just received an email. I just had to click something at some point and just fill out an application. You don't want to do that and just start giving your information out. Even if it's just a soft pull, you're giving people your information that they can then send out to a third party, whether they shared with you that or not, probably getting sent to a credit repair company, another marketplace, or they have your information stored with data. They're doing a lot of things, whether it's right or wrong, and you have to question things, whether they are doing that or not fully or at all. But you have to be protective and get help from somebody as a person first who has the right ethics, character, and then in business understands as well how to run one financially, operations in different departments. I've been there, done that, so I get what you are going through. So this will be down below. It'll be a funding questionnaire that also comes with a 6-step pre-approval funding, or you can say lending checklist, and a 900 plus exclusive free grant documentation document that's up to date, more or less there with the amount and things shifting out in the market. So you'll see changes as well, but you can't pick that up literally anywhere else. And it's very seldom that you come across information like this where you can pick it up for free at no cost. So that'll be down below in the description. This will be, and what you'll do is you'll read through this and then you'll see here, get the funding your business needs fast with the help from a real expert. Please select from one of the two buttons below to fill out the right funding questionnaire. So non-startup, and then you have startup, and then you have the free 6-step pre-approval funding checklist and 900 exclusive free grant documentation included, more or less on that. And then about us with viral funding solutions, I have this opened on my other tab where I'll try to leave a link to my website down below in the description. but you can learn more about myself and why viral funding solutions, why work with viral. There's more there as the owner and the different steps to getting funding. And I have put the processes, the right amount of systems in place, the right amount of automation. It's not always a necessity, but in places it is. But you'll see this, the services that I offer, everything through credit, cash flow, collateral. If you need merchant cash out advance debt relief right now, if you're one of those business owners right now who's struggling with handling your payment or payments, you've done a loan modification for a couple of months or about to or a week, depends on the funder and the lender, the provider, and or you're looking for a consolidation. I'm going to leave more information for that down below in the description because a lot of businesses right now are suffering with extended debt that they no longer need. They need a reorganization of their debt before they get into a new loan. If they can even get one now or not, I'll help you with that. And I'll leave more down below on the debt relief, debt restructuring, or settlement. There are those options included. There's things on payment processing, real estate financing. I do that on the other side too with investors on fix and flips. You have commercial, residential, roundup construction. There's a lot of stuff under the business that I can help you with and much more about myself. You can learn. I'll try to give you a little bit more at the end of the video if I can. Checklist that you can pick up. So all of that will be down below. You can see more information. Now back to this questionnaire form. So let's say I select non-startup business with 3+ months in business, and we'll give it a second to load. And then it says here, get the funding your business needs fast, excuse me. Complete the questionnaire form below to get a personalized and customized email response for your best funding option and options from a real business loan broker and funding expert, as well as a pre-underwriter/underwriter. I've been around enough to know, like, when somebody fills this questionnaire form, what I'm looking out for with credit, cash flow, collateral, and what potential lender and lenders would make most sense for your loan scenario, your funding scenario, how you need to use your funds operation wise. There's so much more. And in here, I say, please be serious and responsive. The last thing I need is to waste my energy and time. That for you too. I don't know how much you value it. I don't know what kind of standard you have. If we've worked or I've communicated with you in the past and I know these things, that's a different matter. And if you have it, great. And that's also a struggle many businesses and many business owners have is the characteristic part. It's, can you be open-minded? Can you allow for feedback? Can you be patient? Do you have of the values of the vision and the mission, or will you work up towards it? Not because you don't doesn't mean I won't work with you, but I've been in it long enough to know that I can be more selective because a lot of people just waste energy and time, and I'm not up for that. I want to be able to leave the end of the day with my family, be able to do other things consciously and cerebrally where things are together. And I'm a very big introverted person, more of the analytical, cerebral type. So I like reviewing bank statements, tax returns. I do quite a bit of that. Credit reports, done a lot of that. So I like the processing end more than anything, and I'm doing things on the back end for review and or the team, so etc. Here, please do not be that person wasting my energy and time and being hard to get a response/free feedback from. I spend a good amount of energy and time on this. Plus, you'll get a free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist, a grant documentation list, and more. So name, best email, phone number, mobile preferred, funding amount that's being requested, time in business, is it years or months? Please specify. I have so many people who just give me a number, or sometimes they just give me the name of their business or something completely different. FICO, Experian, credit score. Do you have 660 FICO scores on all 3 consumer credit bureaus? How about 670? If yes to 670, do you have 700 plus on all 3? Do you have established business credit? It's huge right now, especially if you're looking at a banking option. So as an alternative, let's talk about the SBA EIDL loan wouldn't work, but you have different banking relationships, whether you can go get one now or not. They're looking for those 680, 685 and above credit score and scores. A lot of these lenders are also looking at it from a tri-merge or all 3 Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion to have 680. Some other cases, 660, but you would have to have a FICO SBSS business liquid credit score of like 145, 150, or 155 plus in most cases. Others, they won't look at that as heavily, but they still want to have that with the E-Trans score, and they'll still look at what kind of business credit you have, if anything. So that is of huge value. And you're seeing a lot of shift right now with a lot of banks declining even more people because of their limits and what they're trying to do and not have people get into issues and raising their standards even more. That's a whole nother topic I can get into, but I'll do that likely for another time, where I'll try to leave more information down below. The SBA 7A is another option, but again, you have to have good credit. You're looking at 680, 700 plus in most cases. and even better than that, to have better approvals rates. Do you offer collateral with those 80% collateral coverage, if not up to 350 or up to 500,000 without that? And you can just offer up a blanket lien or they'll require that. That's what they're looking for it on the SBA 7A, and coverage on UCC liens, full coverage. Uh, yeah, 250,000 minimum annual gross revenue. A lot of the times you'll see that, and some of the other ones you'll see 150,000 minimum with something that can be done much quicker. But with these other SBA 7A options, you're looking at cash flow, profitability is important, but future projections of cash flow and profitability are becoming even more important than what you currently have. Although what you have is still too important to overlook. And you're also looking at the non-sufficient funds, negative days, 2+ years time in business, preferably for those, and bank loans. Bank ones usually require just like a blanket lien on all full collateral on the coverage. With SBAs, they'll look at collateral in many different forms for higher amounts past 350, 500,000 in many cases. So here you see, do you have established business credit? So with those types of loans, that goes a long ways. Even FDIC bank lines of credit, FDIC bank term loans, SBA loans, ownership percentage. And here's just some details. I won't go through it all, but make sure you list that if there are more than one owner. Please put that, because I'll understand, like, if you have more than two, here's how complex this can be. And this option may or may not work. Or if you have one at 100% or one at 50, another at 50%, or you're the majority owner with 51%, the other two or three business owners or however many, that'll help me then decide also for other options for like credit-backed solutions. If we wanted to do 0% interest, that's another option. For credit, there is 0% interest credit card stacking, where most of the time it's 3 to 4, 3 to 5 cards we try to do at once. And to get you multiple ones from different banks, so you have more exposure, more flexibility, and you're building these relationships with different banks if you don't have them already. And if you do, try to get more and try to have more negotiation power to help you and do it on your behalf with the team. That is super helpful, so you can get maximum limits. There's also a personal term loan to use for business, personal line of credit. Those can be a little bit harder to get. Personal credit cards or fast track funding, if that's still available and helpful. Revenue backed, you have, again, like I said, the bank loans, SBA 7A loans. There's also the revenue based advances, merchant cash advances, hybrid cash advances. Those can be a benefit if you can double, triple, quadruple your revenue, even in a shorter time. They can somewhat help with cash flow, but they can suck up a lot of cash flow for many businesses. And if they are detrimental and not of great use to benefit of with the higher factor rate, then that can be a problem. But many business owners fall into that because that's their only option and it's what they're only able to get, or they just don't know of anything else. And somebody is putting you in the wrong product. They're telling you can get a line of credit, or this advance works like a line of credit, and then we can work towards this other option. And then you end up defaulting, or people end up shutting their accounts. It's not good. You have to be careful of all that. And if that's the solution you need and it's the best one, which I have vetted the very best in the space for lenders, organizations, and so much more, then you'll have the help you need. One thing I do want to cover before I continue to go through the rest of this video is I have it opened on my other screen here. Let me show you. So this is my Facebook, in case you were wondering. I'll leave this down below if you wanted to get into the messenger, send me a few messages if you decided to. If you're asking how do I set up an appointment with you, like I tell most people, I have to be very energy and time efficient in what I do and careful of others, because uh, I'm in a place as a person and in business where I know a lot of this doesn't come back to me. It's usually on the other end that does a lot of energy and time wasting or self-sabotaging, or they let their own ignorance, stubbornness, ego, ignorance, cockiness. It can be different characteristic traits that get in their way. So I have to be cautious of my energy and time. And I will do initial Facebook consults, and that can be very helpful, voice notes or just texting. And then if it develops into something like this later on, and if it's useful of our time and energy, then I will go for it. And then for clarity purposes. Also, when you fill out this questionnaire, this is why it's very important what we can do without and what I can help you with is when you fill this out, you'll get a very personalized and customized email response with your best funding option and options thoroughly broken down with an email and then a PDF attached with your best funding option and options customized to you. There can be a link that you can click on to get started, everything reviewed on our back end, and or I'll ask for it up front depending on the type of service, the type of process, timing, So this is the best way to go about it. And you'll get this PDF that's long, but I'll show you where to look. And then you can always reuse this, which is pretty cool. And many people have. It's super amazing. I'll give you everything you need from accounting services, even the bookkeeping, the credit repair, debt restructuring, the cash out refinances, some of the real estate stuff, uh, the revenue back, credit back, collateral back. You'll have everything that's up to date in here. So it's in your best benefit to fill this out. And again, this is my Facebook in case you were wondering. I help out people as much as I can. And this is just one of my social media profiles. Now, let me go back to this. Lowest monthly revenue in the last 3 months and month, if possible, lowest monthly revenue in the last 4 months, latest monthly revenue in the last 3 months, not including this month's current revenue. Why I'm asking these questions? If it's not an SBA EIDL loan and it's a business loan of any sort, or if it's something else, if we can try to do a combination or start somewhere and then move into another, that's also why the PDF is important, because I'll give you a roadmap that's customized at the bottom. We could start here and then go to this option and so forth. But here I understand, like, how is your depositing? What's your frequency? That's another question that'll come in time, especially when I'm reviewing, and you can also answer down below in the describe your financial needs, which we'll get into here momentarily. But you'll be able to answer these and I'll understand, because I've been doing it long enough to know lowest monthly revenue. This state or this lender will look for this. This is what it looks like. And a lot of times people who put their revenue don't have that actual revenue. They're mistakenly saying that the depositing is the revenue, revenues are depositing. There's two differences to that. Can sometimes equate, but you have to understand what the two mean. But cash flow is very important when it comes to getting a loan. And that is the emphasis of all of this. How is money being moved in and out? How much is coming in and out? The type of depositing, frequency of deposits, average daily balances are very important. That's why a lot of banking institutions, primary major banks, are becoming harder to get loans with, because of the average daily bank balances of 10,000 and above. They're looking for higher amounts in yearly revenue, over millions. And the credit, the business credit, the type of paperwork that it requires to be submitted. If you can do that, that's where I would suggest you go to a bank, your primary bank, and then look there. But if not secondary to that, or to get more funding, I can help you with online banks or other alternative banks that I have strong relationships with. Some that you wouldn't even know of, exclusive partnerships. That's why it benefits you to go through here and get the best help. So without going too much into the revenue cash flow side, this is just at a glance. Average monthly revenue in the last 3 months, estimated if need be. Average daily bank balance, super important. Ending, starting monthly balances, those I can look at over time, but those tell me a lot mathematically and what I'm looking for systematically. Annual gross revenue, highest monthly sales in the last 6 months, estimate if need be. Average monthly gross sales in the last 6 months, estimate if need be. From time to time, I have people come to me who go, well, I had operations and I had the business generating cash flow and revenue, X surplus, Y demand. And now I'm looking at it and going, well, what is your current revenue? Is it pre-revenue? Is it revenue at a loss? What is your cost of goods sold? There's so much I'm looking at: lifetime gross profit value, lifetime value, uh, sales velocity. There's so much to look at and calculate in a business. But if there is no revenue being generated, credit is usually your likeliest option to look for, or collateral. Cash out refinance, I can try to look at where we can inject equity out of property, commercial real estate, and any investment real estate that you own, free and clear, preferably, is really it. Or there's commercial vehicles and equipment to look at. So if you don't have any revenue right now, but it was at a time, and you have inventory count, a lot of these lenders want to know what you're currently doing, no matter how enticing and favorable the market is to the inventory you have on hand, or it's offshore, internationally, domestically, whatever you're doing in the US or not. It's like, what are you currently producing in revenue to take the form of collateral with that inventory and get you an AR line of credit? Account receivable financing, that's another one, an inventory line of credit, backed by real estate as well, equipment. Uh, there's a lot of stuff to look at. So use of funds, you can go ahead and go through the drop down here and select from which one it is. You can state expansion or so, existing business loan / advance. This is very important for me to know. If it's an SBA EIDL loan, you don't really have to say that. You can if you want. It's helpful, but you don't have to put that in the box here. When you say yes, then it says here, if answered yes to the above question, and it's not just the EIDL loan related, please put down the remaining balances with the original amount taken. I have to change the word here, typo, but taken. Total debt amount and type of loan, if advanced, how many positions, etc. So if you have these merchant cash advances that are based upon your future receivables and you need relief from that, or you'd like to consolidate it, or if you're trying to get more funding in another position, if you're available to get another, please state that. Don't just say 5,000. Is that the original amount? That's what's left over. Is that after a modification? 50,000 originally with 30,000 remaining. Funder is named. That's helpful too. Rate, terms, helpful. Boom. I know it can take a little bit more, but it's super helpful when I'm trying to help you with all of this and I'm looking at it from my point of view. Business assets on hand. If none, ignore for collateral funding if need be. So unpaid invoices, developable land, inventory, none. Real estate, commercial vehicles. There could be more I could list too, but I'm just giving you a rough estimate of all this. And things are subject to change. So I always add and subtract things from the form. So it could look different by the time you fill it out. If you did check boxes above, please state the type of assets and amounts. If none, ignore. Thanks. Term length expectation. What do you expect? So what many business owners get mixed up in is I want 48 months. I want 68 months. I want 72 months. Everybody does. Who doesn't want 5-year terms, 12 to 20-year terms? Who doesn't want these SBA 7A 10-year terms, 20 years, or exclusive partnerships for 12 to 20 years or a minimum of 12 years if you can even get that? It's not something that just is given. If you're trying to get those 12 to 20 years in a loan, that can happen over time, but you're adding from different loans, and it's just not usually the case for everybody unless you have heavy like merchant cash out advance debt. If you're like 500,000 minimum and above and you have what you need, it could be that, and I have exclusive partnerships to that. But there are different options. So just understand that with an FCA, it could be 3 to 24, 4 to 24 months. You might get in the bracket of underwriting right now 4 to 6 months, 3 months, 3 to 4 months, 2 months, 8 weeks, depending on the amount you take. So when you're expecting this absorbent amount and you're looking at it like, well, isn't it a bank loan? Am I going to get an SBA? Well, bank loans, you could get 1 to 5, 2 to 3, 5, 7, 10 years, sometimes 12 to 20 years. If it's the right situation, those are more seldomly and more rare, but they are there, although they are not easy to attain. It just depends on your business, everything that you need that's coming in, going out, so much more to look at, the use of funds, but everything in between. So just understand that you have to develop too. You can't just say, well, what happens if you didn't take this? What happens if you don't take the 30, 40, 50, 100,000 that you can only take from doing it in this option? What's going to happen to your personnel? What will happen to the cost of goods sold? What will happen to being able to grow and scale your marketing and advertising department, your campaigns, your return on ad spend, your customer acquisition cost, your inventory spend, new materials and supplies, or more of it, earning from that, adding that in the bill to the projects, contracts, government contracts, that you can make more in abundance. So you have to think about what the loss means. And that usually hurts a lot more than what would be taking the funding, coming back to get more too. You can also, if you have negotiations, start with a little and then grow in and over time. You don't always need the lump sum. A lot of times right now in this market, people need more funding and higher terms so they have less of a repayability amount coming out on their monthly or whenever that situation looks like for the type of funding scenario. But you can't always get that, an extension of cash flow and working capital to just have sit there. Other times you can, but it's something that you have to understand that you can't always have that kind of access if you're not that kind of business. So when do you need your funds? ASAP, 1 to 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm looking at it in 6 months, whenever. Usually it's quicker. And again, I'll help you in understanding what the best option is. Business industry, super helpful. Business name, super helpful. Please describe your financial needs here, etc. Or example, expand on your use of funds, business operations, ROI, expectations, cash flow. Be thorough. Give me some numbers. Very helpful. I'm a math guy. I can do math in very well. I can do it also on the back end for other things that I do. Projection of cash flow, profitability, EBITDA, reorganization of cash flow. I'll be here to help you as a consultant. I'm not a salesperson. I'll be here to help you when I see all of this. And it's even quicker and streamlined, like I said, with that PDF that I'm going to be able to help you with and how you can get started. So everything here, the services, how it works. There's a video there. If I change things, you can see a difference over here. Again, just showing you what the page looks like, how it works. Some of the companies that I've helped get funding. There are many more. I just put a handful of them there. It's your money. Go ahead and claim it before it's too late. Time is of the essence right now. And then myself, who I am. This other one here, this other tab is the same one that I had open earlier. And again, this is the site. You can learn more. here very quickly on why viral funding solutions and why I was born. Uh, but I'll go into the what in a second. For me, it's about impact. It's about the person. I was once an academic. I went to school. I studied sociology and played Division One soccer. And then I quickly got into chemical engineering. That's how my brain works. I'm very math and system oriented. I'm a, again, big introvert. I can be ambiverted with extroverted qualities and I do well. But being the introvert that I am, being the analytical type, that favors you in so many more ways, especially with my experience. I won't overtalk. I don't overtalk at all. I don't talk over you. I don't rant on about things that shouldn't be given to someone. I keep it professional. I'm very integrity galore, very loyal as a person. I'm a Libra if that says anything. My family will say I'm very humble. I don't let things get to my head. I'm not cocky at all. I'm very confident and certain in what I do. And I'm here by your side as a friend, as a family member, as an extension of putting my arm over your shoulder. All I have is compassion for you. You're not across, you're next to me. Being across the table, the whole traditional financing world. And that's what you're accustomed to. Things change when you come to this side and how far you have to meet me in because we want to be the most energy and time effective. We don't want to have to be that person who three calls, four calls, like, what am I doing? And I don't mind just giving you the information and nothing came about it, but enough is enough at some point. And I understand far too well, too many people are information gouging and all they want is to just weigh everything and anything. And I just can't be that readily accessible for everybody when they ask for it. And again, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur myself, I'm here to ask the right questions and listen. I don't talk much, but I ask the right questions. And even when I don't say it, I know it, like I'm thinking it. I can't always get the words out, but it's so meaningful to me and I feel it. And being once an academic, again, like I said, I went into chemical engineering, did that for some time, chemistry being my favorite class. And then I got into the business world. So what I did is I had to make a big decision. I wanted to start a business. I had already satisfied business requirements. So I made that big leap, hard leap, but a right one. Got my business classes in, got my degree through there. I've worked in construction, manufacturing, retail, you can say, merchandising, and then warehousing. Uh, I was in the ramp, what do we call it? Ramp agent or whatever. I was one of those. All of this in my younger 20s for the majority of it. So manufacturing, warehousing, in the actual laborers positions, going to sites, working in the production on the machine, blueprint room, cast dyings, moldings, and looking at blueprints, putting things together mathematically, systematically. Later on, financial logistics for a huge contracting company servicing HP and Peace Health. And I was very underpaid. I would say undervalued. Stayed there for a lot of stability. There wasn't a lot of growth. I thought the person in front of me would retire, so I'd take over and a bump and increase and be able to serve more. Financial logistics, a lot with inventory management, control, shipping and receiving department, data, budgeting, spreadsheets on the computer, still moving boxes around. Did quite a bit. Their company goes down under 50 plus people relieved. I have to go back on unemployment benefits, food stamp cards, and it was not a good feeling. And just going to the grocery store, very thankful and grateful, but couldn't even look the person in the eyes. It was hard for me. At times I would, but showing my EBT card and paying with it, like it was hard, even to the people behind me, in front of me. It was difficult. Felt embarrassed, got used to it for a bit. And I had that luxury, so I started building a business online specifically. So I had that at the time to be at home and be able to build something. So I took full advantage of doing things, but it was hard. And then just going out for a meal with family and friends, even covering 25, 50%, 75, 100%, it just felt very hard for me, even when I could. Sometimes I wouldn't even speak up. And I'm the oldest of two. I have a younger brother. And at times I would speak up and it was just hard. And I didn't want to feel like a burden to my family, even though they wouldn't tell you that and express it. It's what it felt like to me. And I was tired of feeling like I was disappointing. And that shows you, even somebody who has a degree, not everything in life is linear. Not everything happens for the right away in a sequence. And I'm so grateful and I never regret anything. I've learned so much at my young age that many others haven't gone through themselves. And already having experienced a lot of this, being open to so much that I've gone through different phases in my youth and so much, has helped me and aligned me with where I am today. So with Viral Funding Solutions is I save you a lot of time, energy, money, and especially the pain of sifting through endless business funding solutions, such as an online marketplace that don't give you a clear picture and a proper breakdown of your best options and show you everything you need to know before walking into an application with 110% confidence and certainty that you are not only getting approved, pre-approved, but you're satisfied with what you're ultimately getting overall. And one thing I wanted to cover, since I didn't get too much into the credit side, for credit stacking very quickly, 700 plus credit is usually the requirement. Anything less, like 680, maybe a personal term slash installment loan, no more than 3 inquiries in the last 6 to 12 months. Uh, there's so much more that I can give you in terms of the credit side. But again, fill out the questionnaire, and if I leave other information down below, you'll see more. That's why I couldn't get into it too much. I'll be in here for hours if I did. So I gave you as much as I could on the revenue based. There's microloans out there as well. Grant solutions are helpful. So I'll leave a lot of that down below so you can check it out. But credit, collateral, those have different requirements in the revenue back with if you're looking at a private lender of revenue 3,000 plus on your lowest month in the last 90 days, credit as low as 450. One of them doesn't look at credit to begin, but there could be a hard pull because people go into defaults. Other lenders that I have do a soft pull throughout the process, different tiers of lenders with requirements of revenue, cash flow, depositing, and more. 5,000, 10,000, 15, 25, 50,000 plus to have a better look. 75 to 200% in approvals or less, 25 to 75%, 50 to 100%. And there's more that I need to look at when it comes to those, but revenue is for those, the emphasis. So you see that here. And to give you the most legitimate and helpful source of programs and lenders so you can have a safe, secure, and hassle-free application process. Now, to help you out, so it's for you to continue to come back, know that I care about you as a person first. And people who I've helped out in the past have shown me their true colors. They presented themselves loyal. I still had my guard up, but that's what I've seen. And then they change. So some people put up a front or they're not as loyal as they think they are. They don't have the thought process around it correctly or the characteristic traits. They haven't developed that human nature component yet. And if you have, great. And you know this, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner and you've worked on personal development and you've done the things outside of just funding and everything, you'll know that. But here I'll help you with an expert loan broker like myself. You'll get a more personalized and customized response with what's best for you once and for all. How it works, submit the questionnaire form, get funding options fast, and fund it quickly. Or if the time depends on the service, different services, like I said before. And back here, why work with Viral? It opens up a new tab, at least for now, 4 reasons why business owners choose to. And again, this doesn't come back always just to the business. I express to you who I am as a person. There's a difference of saying versus showing, and I'm a more show it action, not say it person. So that's what I look for in people too, is people blurb on and they can talk. And even if you can't, but can you show it? That's what shows me everything about you and really gets me to open up my eyes on this is the kind of person you really are. And feedback is very important. Will you show up when I am, when I'm there for you, when I'm putting myself in your shoes, even no matter how uncomfortable it might get for you? A simple response. And I'm not saying I make you feel uncomfortable. That's not the thing. No matter how uncomfortable it might feel because you weren't happy with something, a quick letter, a word, a sentence, am I just going to assume? You shouldn't lead me to think that. As time passes, now I can give you a concrete or give a concrete thought to it. So experience, versatility, integrity, loyalty, and there's much more that I could have placed here. Community, fitness, development, accountability, responsibility. Bonus, here's a video version that you can watch as well. But all of that, again, will be down below in the description. There's also real estate capital if you needed help with that too. So I have this open. Give it a second to load. There's also this form, and I have other ones too. Or if I added things here and there, you can check that out. But that'll conclude everything from me in this video. Again, we went into the SBA EIDL Alternative Loan and loan options with somewhat of a requirement qualification zone. I would spend a lot of time going through all of this, but again, down below in the questionnaire, fill that out. And remember, you're getting somebody who has integrity galore, has themselves together as a person. That's what I look for, and I develop myself each and every day. I read the books. I love reading. I love writing. That's my thing. That's my Zen mode. I like to meditate. I like to do mindfulness practices. I'll do some yoga stretches in the morning. This is a lot of it before I get out and I do what I need to do. I have my routine. I have my old man habits and routine already. I'm not materialistic. I'm an old soul at heart. I like rock. I love to fish. And I like teamwork, but I'm much, much better, you could say, as an individual. You can leave me in the room and I don't have to talk and review bank statements all day long, tax returns and calculate, and just like doing a lot of the back end stuff, like more so a back end partner, COO, back end partner, be the CFO, done quite a bit. So that's it for me. I hope you got value again, and just understand there are alternatives to the EIDL loan. Don't continue to wait for it to reapply or apply or increase a loan modification firm. And I get how hard it is right now, especially in these economic times. That's why I'll also try to leave you down below in the description information on like getting discounts, cashback, the ultimate cashback, savings, rewards, and referral program. I'll try to leave information on that. I've spoken about it in the past. Right now is the time to save even more if you haven't before or having enough of and you want the best down below into big merchants, big brands already. They also give you an opportunity to share this with others with their lucrative comp plan. So if you decide you wanted to share this with others, they also have residuals built into it. It's pretty cool. This could probably be your full-time business online, and I can help you because I built mine and I built multiple. I built out several, helped out people with digital marketing agency, lead generation strategies, built out websites, funnels, processes, systems, built them, helped out people with affiliate stuff and other business and other ventures. So that's all from me. If you did get value from it, I'd greatly appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. Please share it with others if you would like to. And if you have not subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate you subscribing. And please click the bell notification icon so you do not miss any future content on EIDL loans, any other type of funding options, anything else that comes up that can be of help to you, services, and I'll be there to share it with you. That's all for now. Take care.